Viewmasters, it's the podcast that we do. Viewmasters, talk about movies that we view. Viewmasters, my friend Eric and me, Joe. Viewmasters, hey, let's start the show.
What is up? It is the Viewmasters, episode 217, Trumbo. My name is Eric.
My name is Joe.
Hello, Joe.
What is up?
Nothing good.
Oh, I don't know why I laughed at that, other than it's nervous laughter.
It's a laughter of knowing the truth.
The state of the world makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's not great out there.
It's not.
It's only going to get worse.
Yay!
Yep. Fun times.
Like, it has to get worse before it gets better, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So, we'll see.
Yes.
Because it has to get better, right?
At some point. Yes.
Statistically.
Hopefully within our lifetimes.
I hope so. Let's solve racism in our lifetimes.
That'd be nice.
It would be nice.
It would be real nice. Yeah.
Defund the police.
Oh, exactly. Yes. All cops are bastards.
Tear down all the racist monuments.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we're making progress.
We are
already, at least on one of those things.
Yeah. It's going to be slow, but
yeah.
I feel like, I guess I have to feel like it's all leading to something, hopefully.
Yeah.
Because if I don't feel that, then what the fuck's the point?
Yeah, narratively, it has to be leading to something.
And hopefully that thing is good.
Otherwise, who is writing this shit?
Terrible screenwriters.
Speaking of screenwriters,
yes,
we watched a movie about one.
Yeah, we did.
About a bunch of them, actually.
Yeah, yep.
Trumbo.
Based upon the life of Dalton Trumbo.
Yes. That is correct.
What happened?
I don't know. I zoned out. I'm sorry. I thought there was more coming, and there was not. So, for the listener, we can't see each other.
Yeah.
So, there's no visual cues to tell when one of us is done talking and the other one is ready to start, or the other one should start.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, yeah, it's gonna happen. Get over it.
Yeah, that's and as I believe we've expressed, it's not going great. So,
no.
We've got other things on our minds, and
yeah, and also this is a free podcast.
True. So fuck you.
Yeah, you get what you pay for.
Exactly.
If you want it to be better, donate to our Patreon.
Hey, there we go.
Which I don't think we have. Donate to Eric's Patreon.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Also, I think I have a donate PayPal button on the actual website, which for some reason just aren't things anymore.
The websites?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's true.
But I pay a whole lot of money to have this thing everybody ignores.
It's a nice looking website. I enjoy it.
Thank you.
Trumbo!
Yes!
I did not know much about Dalton Trumbo before watching this movie.
I did not either. The only thing I knew about him was that he wrote a book called Johnny Get His Gun or Johnny Get Your Gun, something like that.
Yeah.
Which in my lunkheadedness, the only reason I even know that is because of the Metallica connection.
What's the Metallica connection to that?
So Johnny Got His Gun or whatever was eventually made into a movie. That Metallica bought the rights for it and used in their video for One.
Oh, it's that movie.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And then I think like they just outright bought the rights to the movie. So they own that movie now.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And also, that's real dark, Dalton.
Well, I mean, he seemed pretty joyous, right?
It's true. He was just full of light and happiness at all times.
Yeah.
He had it rough.
Yeah, I guess. All right. Let's talk about this movie.
Okay.
Movie Trumbo, in which the lead character in the movie based on his life is the least interesting character in the movie.
It's, I did, I appreciated that, that it was focused a lot on his family and what they went through. 'Cause what like his kids and his wife experienced was definitely, I think, more compelling than his own struggles. Not that his struggles were insignificant,
Right.
but as far as something to grab onto, because he's kind of an asshole.
Yes, he is.
So, watching his family deal with him was interesting to me.
I don't. I feel like everything in this movie, everything that was presented, I guess, is the best way to say it. It's based on an actual person, on real events, but I mean, we don't know exactly what is real or what is not for sure.
Mm-hmm.
At least,
right?
Specifically we, because I'm guessing neither of us has really read up on the actual man or the events, but we have a vague idea of the things that were happening at that time. But we don't know exactly how much was fictionalized, how much was not.
Right.
But it really seemed like even at his lowest of lows in the movie, everything was still kind of okay.
Yeah.
And everything that happened to him was brought on mostly by himself, to himself. And with minimal effort, he was able to pretty much, wrangle free of any of his struggles.
Yes. I think, I don't know that saying that he brought it on himself, that I agree with that entirely. I mean, from a certain point of view, you could say that he did, by not cooperating with the HUAC, and all of that stuff. But on the other hand, it's kind of admirable that he didn't play ball with them, that he stuck by what he believed. And, he had a point. People have a right to have whatever political beliefs or religious beliefs or whatever that they want to have. And I say that, knowing that there are people who are just raging racist assholes out there. They have a right to that opinion. It's wrong and they're stupid, but they have a right to that opinion. So and he's definitely not either of those, any of those things. He's just, he's a socialist or he's a communist.
Right.
And that was the boogeyman at the time. So I don't know. he could have definitely done things differently, but he didn't, and I appreciated that about him, and that he went to prison for refusing to play along.
No, I agree with you, and I'm certainly generalizing. There are things that he did that are admirable, but just I guess mostly in just his own personal interactions and how he dealt with people individually rather than the entire situation.
Right,
is mostly what I was referring to. Just as you mentioned, he's an asshole.
Right.
It does not play well with others.
Yeah, no, I think that he is, or he comes across as always ready to fight. Yeah. Even when it's not maybe necessary.
Right.
So, yeah, no, I totally agree with you there.
Yeah.
Like, the way that he handles things is not ideal.
Yeah. I do think, I completely agree with you, as far as his own political beliefs, at least as they are presented to us. It is very admirable for him to, do what he did in general and stick up for his beliefs and not out his friends and colleagues. And the fact that he did go to jail is both ridiculous and admirable.
Right.
But at certain points, he kind of deserved what he got a little bit. But also, again, despite those things, it never really seemed like he was in any real jeopardy of, much. Like, he lost his job and he went to jail. Those are some pretty big consequences, but he bounces back from them pretty fucking quickly.
Yeah, I mean, we get the sense that, he's working crazy hours for very little pay, and, his family has basically been drafted into to working for him. Right. But, we don't know what kind of financial issues they're having, if any at all.
True. I mean, the start of the movie, living in a very spacious house.
Yes.
On a gorgeous piece of land, and they move later on after he gets out of prison to what looks like still a really nice house.
It did look like a pretty nice house.
Yeah.
Maybe if you wanted to show that he was destitute, maybe one floor next time.
Right.
Instead of two.
And not a pool that could be vandalized.
Right. That was upsetting. I did not care for that.
No, that was not good.
But yeah, no, you're absolutely right. He still seems like, he's doing okay. Like the worst hardship that he's facing is, aside from, he has to work all the time.
Right.
And he can't use his name. He can't put his name on his scripts or be credited for any of the work that he's doing.
Right.
Which sucks, but, in the grand scheme of things, he's still working, he's still getting paid.
Right. I mean, how many of us work away in obscurity and in the shadows,
That's true.
Well, I would say the majority of us.
Yeah. I mean, I'm the managing editor of a fairly influential comics website, but, you're definitely obscure, so...
Yep. 100%.
Aww. I'm just kidding.
Oh, but you're not wrong. Just look to my recent efforts on Twitter this week.
But yeah, you know, and I wonder if part of it is that like the hardship that he's going through is somewhat, you know, it's sort of intangible. Like it's this ideological thing that he's fighting, just the whole blacklist and trying to get his name back,
right?
After going to prison. So you know, it's they're not things that like, yeah, he has an okay house. He works all the time, but you know, they don't seem like they're super poor,
right?
But you know, there's still sort of a cloud that hangs over him, and I don't know how super well that comes across outside of Hedda Hopper in the movie, and
right.
Just like every time we see her, she's like, I'm standing in the way of Dalton Trumbo and his career.
She's kind of the worst.
She's kind of a cartoon.
There are quite a few characters in this movie who are basically cartoons.
Right.
Some, like Helen Mirren playing Hedda Hopper, which she is just, like, yeah, Cruella DeVille levels of cartoonish.
Yeah.
And then, you know, on the positive side, we've got John Goodman, you know, coming in and doing a few things here and there.
He does some great things.
Yes,
like,
he does.
He doesn't do a lot of things, but the things that he does are fantastic. I really enjoyed all of his scenes.
As did I. He is just enjoyable in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, he always brightens any movie he's in.
I wish that there'd been a little bit more Stephen Root along with him. Though I almost wonder if it would have been too much.
He seemed like the level-headed one out of the two,
which is weird.
Yeah. Stephen Root is also great, and then it is sort of a crime that he did not have a bigger role in this movie. Because I got super excited when I saw him, when I figured out who he was.
Yeah.
Because at first I was like, who's that guy? It took me, a little bit.
I recognized him immediately.
Well, aren't you fucking special?
I am. Thank you.
God damn it, managing editor of the beats.
Thank you for saying that.
Here's your awards. That's all you wanted anyway.
I can't claim those. I've been blacklisted. So there's the cast of this movie is really great.
Yeah.
With one exception.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Louis C.K. is in this movie.
Yeah, I didn't realize that when I picked it.
I didn't either. But my only problem with him in this movie is that his reputation was distracting to me.
Yes.
However, like, while watching it, I did keep trying to remind myself, his show, Louis, was very good. And he was very good in it. Back before we knew what a fucking monster he was.
Yeah.
And so I kept trying to reflect back on, hey, remember when you liked him? While I was watching him in this movie. It was difficult to do that.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I would say that he, his performance is pretty good.
Yeah.
And, he plays a close friend of Dalton Trumbo who, spoiler alert, eventually dies of cancer.
Yeah.
So there's he's carrying a lot of emotional weight in the movie. and I tended to tune out when he was on screen because he is a monster. So that adversely affected the movie for me.
Yeah, I agree for the most part on that. I was at times, because the movie tries to put forth a little bit about redemption and second chances, and being able to come back from a negative event in your life, which is almost suitable for a Louis C.K. type character, except for the fact that Louis C.K. has never once earned any type of redeeming arc or anything like that. He is just had his negative moments and then fucking doubled down on it like a goddamn asshole.
Yeah, I mean, that's an interesting point. And I think it's worth examining. Because Dalton Trumbo is definitely looking for some sort of redemption. I think there is a vast difference between the things that Trumbo went to prison for and the things that Louis C.K. did.
No, absolutely, for sure.
Yeah.
But, I mean, ideally in our society, when someone like Louis C.K. does what he did, if he came out and was truly apologetic for it and did the work to try to redeem himself, then I think people would be more open to giving him another opportunity in the entertainment world anyway.
Right.
But the fact that, he just sort of disappeared, came back, was not apologetic, did not do any kind of work, was, not redemptive, and he just basically just kept reiterating how right and how much of a monster he was. This basically destroyed him for people like us.
Right.
And yes, what he did was definitely not for the greater good, which you could say, that's what Dalton Trumbo did. But, he still was looked upon negatively, and, he did the work.
Did he? I think what Dalton... So Trumbo is also not apologetic for anything that he did. What Trumbo did was he did the work to show that the thing that he went to prison for was wrong.
Right.
Whereas I don't think any amount of work that Louis C.K. does is going to prove to anybody that what he did is not wrong.
You're right. Yeah. Okay. I can't. Yeah. All right. I'll just stop talking. I'm done.
No. I'm not. I don't want you to stop talking. I definitely see where you're coming from with the parallels between the general arc for Dalton Trumbo in this movie and what Louis C.K. probably should have done,
right,
versus what he actually did.
Right. Yeah, I'm definitely not pointing to the specific of what happens in this movie to what happened to Louis C.K.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
No, I think we've been fairly clear that Louis C.K. is a monster, still is a monster, has done nothing to earn any sort of redemption.
Nope, he does not deserve your attention, your money. Yeah, he does not deserve anything. He needs to go the fuck away.
Yeah.
And even though this movie came out before any of that stuff came to light, he is now retroactively ruining things by being in them.
Right?
Much like this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say he ruined the movie.
He didn't ruin the movie. The movie ruined itself.
Aw. Is it safe to say you didn't like the movie? So this is on Netflix, and on Netflix, you have the option of giving a thumbs up or a thumbs down to a movie, based on how you view it. Right.
And I fucking hate that because that is just black and white. I like it or I hate it, and there's lots of gray areas. And I think this movie definitely falls into just the medium gray area for me.
Yeah, I can see that.
It has some very, very good, very effective moments in it. But it also, I feel, was just very poorly put together, poorly thought out, poorly constructed. Just not enough character or emotion to really grab onto to make it cohesive.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the entire time I just kept thinking, like, Diane Lane is wasted in this movie.
She is super wasted. I agree. She gets maybe one really good scene.
Right? And Bryan Cranston is great, but, at the same time, the movie covers, 25 years of his life, something like that. I think, from, 45 through 70.
Yeah.
And, from the jump, Cranston plays him like an old, tired man.
Right.
So by the time he actually becomes an old, tired man, there's, no difference.
Yeah, I will say that I like Bryan Cranston a lot. It doesn't feel like he's doing much in this movie.
Right.
Or at least, he's not or what he's doing is sort of quiet, maybe a little more subtle, or at least there's not a great range to what he's doing. You're absolutely right. He does just seem sort of like a tired old man from the start, and I think it's pretty clear that he's been fighting for what he believes. Once from before the movie starts, it's already a going concern. So it would have been interesting to see him prior to that,
right,
to that starting. And also, we see a little bit of video of the actual Trumbo during the closing credits. But I don't know, maybe that's just what he was like for his whole life.
Right. I mean, I've been a tired old man since I was 20, 21.
Right.
So, I mean, it's totally fair assessment. I don't know. I just he was definitely putting on some affectations. Some worked, some didn't. There were just little things that kind of get shown to us, but they're never really expanded upon. There's the scene of him in the bathtub where he pops a couple of pills,
mm-hmm.
and we see Diane Lane just kind of dejectedly close her eyes, but sort of implying that maybe he's got some sort of drug problem, but it never comes into play.
Right.
Like I think it happens one more time otherwise, but it never negatively affects him. Like he's kind of being an asshole to his kids, but that's just kind of because he's an asshole.
Right. Yeah, I would say that the episode of Saved by the Bell where Jessie gets addicted to caffeine pills, she has a worse problem than Dalton Trumbo does as presented in this movie. Like, he's pretty clearly he's taking like Adderall so that he can keep working. But yeah, it doesn't seem like it ever really negatively affects him, and it never really comes up again.
Right?
He doesn't have his "I'm so excited" moments. Which maybe he just had a good handle on it for his whole life. Who knows?
Hey, some people are functioning addicts.
Yeah.
Good
on them.
Drugs affect people differently.
Right. Oh boy.
Yeah. I don't. Like I said, there are some great scenes and moments in this movie. There are a couple scenes where I did get choked up here and there. But for the most part, I just felt like it was just kind of meandering for the most parts.
Yeah.
Like it got halfway through, and I was like, "Where is this even going?" Like he starts farming out work to all of his, communist screenwriters, and but outside of like one scene or so where we see them, doing that kind of thing, like that never really comes back into play.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just a lot of it felt meandering, I think.
Yeah. No, I definitely get that. I think the high points were the stuff with his family. Particularly, like, he has some pretty solid scenes with Elle Fanning as his daughter.
Is that who that was?
That was Elle Fanning.
All right. All I know is that he goes to prison for less than a year, and when he comes back, his daughter is played by a completely different actress who looks nothing like the other one.
Was it less than a year?
I believe in real life, anyway, he was only in jail for 11 months.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely, I missed how long the span of time was, so I definitely assumed it was way longer, just based on the fact that his daughter was recast. Like, they couldn't have found another little Fanning to have play the younger version,
right? So
at least it'd be a more seamless transition.
I mean, goes from just like a very different looking blonde girl to a gigantic redhead.
But she was very good in the movie. I enjoyed her.
Oh yeah. Both versions of her I enjoyed.
Yeah. I don't think there's a bad performance in this movie.
No, I don't think so either. There's, like I said, some wasted performances, but no one is bad at all.
Yeah.
Even, the horrible monster that's in the movie.
Right. And I appreciated that so there are characters in the movie who are real people, like Edward G. Robinson is in it.
Right.
John Wayne, Kirk Douglas. And I appreciated that, for the most part, they weren't doing, or it didn't seem like they were doing impressions of those people.
Right.
Especially not Michael Stuhlbarg as Edward G. Robinson, because that could have gotten very cartoonish.
Right.
So
I definitely have an idea of Edward G. Robinson in my head, and I was fully expecting that when they revealed who that character was.
Yeah.
But no, he was very subtle and I don't want to say. I don't mean this in a negative way, but like a small performance.
Yeah. No, I totally get that. Yeah. It's not over the top.
Right.
Which
and I think
definitely could have been.
Right. which I think the actor that plays John Wayne could have also just gone full Wayne on it, and it was very nice that he did not.
Yeah.
I think there's like a scene early on where he's given a speech, and he is kind of doing the John Wayne impression, but I think it's because it's John Wayne performing.
Yeah.
But when it's just like small interactions, he's just, a regular guy.
Yeah. Yeah, so I appreciated that about the movie.
And the actor that played John Wayne, and the reason he did so well is because of his years on the TV show Jag.
Wait, really?
Yes.
Was he the lead?
He is Jag.
He's Jag. Oh, what a Jag. Amazing.
Yes. Yeah, I would say the only one who really goes to any sort of cartoonish area is, of course, Helen Mirren.
Right, yeah. But she's great. She could just do that the whole time. It'd be fine.
Yeah, absolutely. I had no problems with it whatsoever.
Like when the scene that she has with Louis B. Mayer in his office, where she's talking about how he was always trying to fuck her, and now she's ready to fuck him right back.
Yeah.
That was such a great scene.
Yeah. I would also say the one person who almost reaches cartoonish levels is whoever played Otto Preminger.
Yes.
But it was also delightful.
Yeah, I enjoyed that a lot.
Especially the sort of implication that it felt like Otto Preminger just moved in.
Yeah, he really just sort of showed up one day.
Yep, and never left. I like to think that in real life, Otto Preminger just lived with the Trumbos for the rest of their lives.
Oh, boy. Wild. Uh-oh. I broke him. For the listener who doesn't know, that's a reference to Otto Preminger's turn as Mr. Freeze on the 1960s Batman TV series.
Oh, I had just taken a drink when he said that.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
It's all right. Just trying to keep it in.
So yeah, this I think this was an all right movie.
It was fine. Yeah.
I didn't dislike it.
I think I disliked it a little more than I liked it, but also I wouldn't actively not recommend this movie.
Sure,
it was fine. It was perfectly fine. I think it would have been great if it had gotten rid of Louis C.K. and was maybe a half hour shorter. Yeah.
Agreed on both counts.
Because it is over 2 hours.
Yeah, I mean, not by much, but...
No, but still.
You feel it a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, my time is valuable.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't laugh at that, because you're right, it is very valuable.
It's not. You texted me like at 7:30 or so to say that you were going out and that you'd be back by 8:30 so we could do the show. And I was just like, fuck, what am I going to do for an hour? It's like, I'm already bored waiting for this to start.
Oh, I'm
now
sorry.
I gotta tack on an extra hour? Of me just sitting here?
You could watch a show. You could read. You could draw. There's so many things you could do.
I had Star Trek on in the background.
Nice. Perfect.
Yeah. Like, I left work today, and I was just like, I don't want to go home, but like, there's nothing to do, and I already risked my life going to the comic book store the other day. It's like, what the fuck do I do to kill time? And so I went to get a sandwich.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Takeout, because I'm not a monster.
Naturally. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Because I don't give a fuck that restaurants are open now. I'm not going to one.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Too soon.
Yes. But there's this place a friend of mine took me to back pre-apocalypse that has possibly the best chicken sandwich I've ever eaten in my entire life.
Is it Chick-fil-A?
No. No.
Good.
Although, I can't deny that they also have a pretty good chicken sandwich.
I don't see the appeal, but okay.
Back when I was with my last real relationship, my lady friend and I would often discuss, putting our morals aside and getting a Chick-fil-A. And sometimes we would.
It's a soggy sandwich. I don't get it.
If you get it fresh, it's great.
Okay.
But no, this is not a Chick-fil-A. It's a local place called Chicken Heads.
Okay.
It was just a tiny, locally owned, black-owned business in East Dayton.
Nice.
And like I said, a couple months ago, my friend took me there because she kept saying how great. Well, she's a vegetarian, but they had a vegetarian option. But she said the sandwich is great and that I should try it. And she was not wrong.
That's awesome.
And so I've conservatively been thinking about that sandwich, probably once a week, since then. And with the plague and everything, I just never thought about going back out there. It's also not terribly convenient to get to.
Yeah.
But today I left work and I was like, I don't want to go home because I just got, 5 hours to kill until, I get to talk to Joe. So I'll go get this sandwich and boy, it was fantastic.
That's excellent. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah. Next time you visit Dayton, if the world is still operating, you should check it out.
Absolutely. I do enjoy a good chicken sandwich.
It's pretty amazing. It's got mac and cheese on it.
Oh, you're kidding me.
No, I am not.
That sounds incredible.
Yeah. Pickled onions, collard greens, and then like a choice of barbecue sauce. It's kind of amazing.
Nice.
They also have waffle fries, which I'm a huge fan of, and these were the best waffle fries I've ever had in my entire life.
Oh, I'm getting jealous.
It's pretty great.
It sounds spectacular.
Next time you're out here, we'll do that instead of Noodles and Company or whatever.
Oh, but I miss my fast casual noodles.
I do too. I haven't been there since whenever the last time you were here was.
Well, that's it for this episode of Food Talk.
Maybe that's my recommendation for this week.
Yeah, that's a good recommendation. You piqued my interest, that's for sure.
Hey, anybody listening that might be in the Dayton area, go check out Chicken Heads.
It's an unappetizing restaurant name.
It used to be a different name, but they had to change it.
Okay.
And it's called Chicken Heads because the owner and chef, his last name is Head.
Okay, all right. Yeah. All right, I'll give it a pass.
Yeah. So, I mean, you're not wrong. It's an off-putting name for sure. But once you know, then, it's slightly more tolerable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, my recommendation for the week is actually somewhat thematically related to Trumbo.
Okay.
Not on purpose. I didn't realize this when I sat down to read it. But last night I read Exit Stage Left: The Snagglepuss Chronicles.
All right.
Which is it's a reimagining of the Hanna-Barbera character Snagglepuss.
Right.
He is a Southern playwright living in New York in the early 50s, and he is a gay cat, and he is targeted by the HUAC as part of their investigations, not into communism, but into indecency and morality in Hollywood. It's written by Mark Russell, who wrote The Flintstones and Second Coming and Prez and just a bunch of other really great comics. And it was drawn by Mike Feehan, who I don't think I've ever seen his work anywhere else.
I've never heard of him.
Yeah, there was like a short prelude that was drawn by Howard Porter, and then the main 6-issue series is drawn by Mike Feehan.
Huh.
And it was really great.
All right. Howard Porter seems like a weird choice, but
it was kind of weird. Yeah. Yeah, he does like an 8-page. It was part of I think it was DCU.
Okay.
So there was like an 8-page preview for it that ran in the back of like a Convergence title that led into the actual series.
Okay.
But yeah, it's really great.
Huh.
It's definitely worth checking out, I would say. I think it's more somewhat more satisfying story set in that area than maybe Trumbo was. And it's available on Hoopla.
Okay.
So if you want to check it out for free, I would definitely recommend Exit Stage Left: The Snagglepuss Chronicles.
I will actually do that then.
You should do it. It's a pretty quick read too. I read it all in one evening.
Nice.
So yeah, very very entertaining comic.
Cool. I'll definitely check that out. I did check out an episode of Dead Eyes from last week.
Yeah.
It was fine.
Yeah, it's entertaining.
Yeah. It had a very NPR type vibe to it.
I can definitely see that.
Yeah. But was pleasantly surprised by a surprise appearance by John Hamm. So
yeah. Just a cameo.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess I should pick a movie.
You probably should.
I've been having a hard time trying to think of a movie to pick, which is weird because I've got like a ton of things I haven't watched, on my watch lists everywhere.
See, I was gonna say, is it because you've seen every movie already?
No. But one of the movies I'm thinking about is one that I have actually seen.
Okay.
But then I don't want you to give me shit about it. But I don't think I'm going to pick that one yet anyway.
Okay.
But it is kind of one of those things where it's like, I've seen this movie, you may give me crap because I've seen it, but like it's one of those movies where I don't know many people who have ever seen it.
Sure.
And I want other people to experience it.
No, I totally get that.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just want to rewatch something.
Well, sure, yeah. But I think what I'm going to go with instead is it's a movie on Netflix as well, starring Tom Hardy, called Locke. Locke.
Okay.
Which, as far as I know, is pretty much the entire movie is just him in a car.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
See, I was going to ask if it was like he plays the philosopher John Locke. But it doesn't sound like it because I don't think he was alive when cars were around.
The only John Locke I know is from Lost.
Well, yeah. It'd be awesome if he just played John Locke from Lost. Look, I don't know how you explain that, but all right, let's do it.
I mean, he played Venom, so, there's nothing that man won't do.
He can really do anything. I kind of want to see Capone.
I kind of do as well. Yeah.
I'm just curious about it, and it's a Josh Trank, his first movie since Fant Four Stick. So
Fant Four Stick.
But yeah, I'm curious about that.
Saw that in the theaters.
Oh, why?
My friend Bruce. We saw it for our birthdays.
That guy's a bad influence. I don't like it.
I mean, it was fine. It was cheap. We were the only people there.
All right, that's acceptable.
And neither of us liked it, so
Even better.
Yeah,
I guess
because it's not a good movie.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
Yeah, don't.
Okay. I was gonna say I'll watch it before I watch Capone. All right.
All right, yeah. Lock next week.
Lock. Excellent. We'll talk to you then.
Alrighty. Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to The Viewmasters. You can subscribe to the show directly at view.guttertrash.net or at iTunes and leave us a review. Visit view.guttertrash.net for email information and links to Facebook and Twitter. We'll see you next time on The Viewmasters.